Right, it's happening. I'm live. All right. Today is March 4th, and I am doing a live video. I apologize for not giving you guys fair warning ahead of time, but I have to do this and I have to go somewhere. So I'm going to make this live video. I'm going to upload it, and then there you go. That's it. So this is about fair. This is not. I'm in the middle of making a thing on my escape series, and I'm going to continue that. Um, Probably, I'm not sure tomorrow, but it'll either be tomorrow. Hi, Caroline. It'll either be tomorrow or the next day, one or the other. I think Laura is coming over tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. She said she's coming Tuesday. Hey, Elk of Antioch. All right. Hey, hail Lord Zunu. Anyway, I'm not going to read all the names because then I won't get through this. So I apologize for not giving you a warning ahead of time, and I'm trying to work on a time frame when it's good for me. And if you guys have a time frame, post it here or post it afterwards. So that basically afterwards would be the best, is to go on there and just let me know what time frame would work for you. I'm on the Pacific Standard Time, so whatever that is for you, because if you're in London, it's going to be tomorrow, but you'd have to kind of do the stuff on it. Okay. So there you go on that. That's that. Today, I'm going to be talking about Scientology, fair game and setups then and now, right? Because I don't, probably most of you, but I don't know, many of you, good evening, know Jessica Palmadessa. And I think she was with Cam, but I know she was with Chris. And those guys, I'd like you guys to basically make sure to go over and check those guys out, because last night they went to a couple of parties and I followed them. I was on the message board, and I'm like, her grandmother or aunt or whatever, but her mother and I were on the line with her and a couple other people and a bunch of people. And she went to a party, wasn't very good, so she left. She went to another party, and that party, um, she ended up getting handcuffed. The police came, a helicopter came. They had some report that someone in her car, a blonde girl, was shooting someone. It's like, come on, give me a break. So me personally, I'll tell you my story and the setup that happened with me. And you can draw your own conclusions on who called in this false report, because it ended up being false. She was just detained and then they let her go. But this has happened a bunch to the Squirrel Squad. And it's like, Scientology, you got to get it together. I mean, this happened in Chicago. They had the grand opening, and Chicago guys were there, and that was great. I just talked to them now, and they're really cool people. But anyway, to get back to my thing, I just want to tell you about a situation that actually happened to me. I escaped out in 2000 after being in Scientology for 30 years. They chased me across the country. I'm telling that story, as we go along. I've done part one. I'm going to do part two tomorrow or the next day, depending on what happens with Laura. But we'll probably do it, I think maybe tomorrow, but I think she wants to upload the video that we did, which is a really long one. So it'll probably be the next day. Okay, so where was I? That's where you have to remember that, because I can't. All right, so now let's see. Chicago, I told you about that. Okay, so, and I forgot what? All right, someone help me on this. All right, Tori Magoo, do you remember the day that you, me, and Lynn and Poe protested outside? Okay, yes, I do. But that's completely off of this topic. And I'm asking people to please help me stay on this topic so that we can get through it. Because it's kind of a good story, but it's an important one, I think, for people to know. Because this is a complete setup that Scientology did. Okay, so I escape out. Then they decide they're going to have a protest in honor of Lisa McPherson. And if you don't know who Lisa McPherson is, Google it. But anyway, she ended up in Scientology's hands. They took care of her for 17 days. She ended up dead, right? And there's a whole story on that. There's a whole website on that Jeff Jacobson put up. Anyway, So they kind of have their nasty side to them that a lot of people don't know, and they're always promoting how great they are. But obviously, the Squirrel Squad has run into some creepy things. So with me, I was in for 30 years, but started seeing the darker side of them and escaped out. So now we're going to do this candlelight vigil for Lisa McPherson. And I'm walking into the Lisa McPherson Trust, which was in Clearwater, Florida in 2000, which is before some of you were even born or thought of, and some of you were alive and well. But anyway, that's what happened. And I walk up and they go, Tony Bazazian, which Bazazian was my married name. And they go like this, you've been served. And they hand me this piece of paper. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And it turned out it was an injunction that they had created where we couldn't walk on their side of the street. We had to walk across the street, right? Or it would violate the injunction. And they had maps and all this shit. It actually confused a lot of the policemen. It was very weird. Anyway, we couldn't walk on their side of the street. On any of the buildings. We couldn't block a door and we couldn't block a driveway. So anyway, those are the three rules. And I say there's a lot of critics that are there, people that have never been in before in Scientology. And they're like, because it says at the bottom, anyone connected to, it was served to 15 people. And they say anyone who's connected to these 15 people is part of this injunction. And the critics are all like, screw this, we're going to do what we want. And I say, just to let you know how I felt, look, these guys are serious. Follow the rules of the thing or else, the shit's going to happen. So I'm intending to follow it, right? And I go through, we do the picket, the protest, I fly back to Los Angeles. My doorbell rings and this little girl goes, are you Tori? And I said, uh-huh. She goes, you've been served. And she hands me this piece of paper. And it's from the judge saying you're ordered back to the judge in Clearwater for this trial about the injunction, right? So now it's me and 15 people. I'm part of it. Me and Bob Minton and a bunch of other people. And I say to Bob, look, this is about you because you're a multimillionaire and they want your money. And it's about me because I know this top secret mafia shit that they don't want known that it has to do with the Church of Scientology, opening up phony accounts on the internet they had me do, right? So, okay, there you go on that. And I said, it's really going to boil down to the two of us, which is exactly what happened. They let person after person after person go. And it ended up being 2 days with Bob Minton and 2 days with me. And mine, let's just take up mine because Bob was a whole different thing. But both of us got off. But they're trying to pin a criminal conviction on me. And I know it might sound goofy to a bunch of you, like, come on, how are they going to do that? But they were. That's how serious they were. And I, thank God, I didn't really even know the ramification of a criminal conviction here in LA, but I just knew I didn't want them to win. So, and plus I knew I didn't do anything wrong. So I'm standing up for myself. So, okay, let's take up the red Santa's chair. Oh yeah, because I did walk on the wrong side of the street. So that's one crime. The second one was they had a red Santa's chair. They had big phony bushes in front of one of their doors. So you don't even see the door. And then in front of that is a red Santa's chair and it's empty. So Ida Cameron, who was an 85-year-old lady who was picketing because her son never talked to her in 30 years. So I say to Ida, do you want to have a photograph in the red Santa's chair? And she goes, yeah. So she sits down. I take a picture of her. We both laugh. She goes, do you want a picture? And I said, yeah. And I sit down and it's lights, camera, action, security guards, everything. I mean, it was just like, what the hell is this? And everybody's like, shut up. Don't say another word. And I'm like, it's Christmas time. I sat in an empty red Santa's chair. And the guy says, if you say another word, I'm calling the Attorney General's office. This is a true story. And Bob Minton comes running down the street, thank God, at the time. This is while we're picketing. This is before we're in jail. And Bob comes running down the street, grabs me and says, leave her alone, and throws me into the Lisa McPherson Trust. So there you go. I'm safe. But now I'm in court and I explain the red Santa's chair. And then that sort of laughed out of court. Everyone's like, that's so stupid. And they had like 10 attorneys there. It was like really this big deal, right? And Osa was there and whatever. So there's the red Santa's chair. I'm walking down the wrong side of the street. Okay, I admit it. I had to pay $100 for that. And the third one, which I knew was the balance on me getting a criminal conviction or not, was, did she block the driveway? And what happened was they had a Scientologist walk up and say, "Why are you all picketing?" So I'm standing there with my picket. It was a sign that Frank Oliver made for me saying, "Stop hurting families." And it was like a stop sign. And so I'm standing there with that talking to her, and it looks like I blocked the driveway. So now I realize while I'm in court, this attorney that is my attorney is really only caring about Bob. Bob has the money. That's what he's caring about. So I say to him, look, get me the videos. I'm going to stay up all night and watch the videos because I know tomorrow, it could be I'm a criminal, right? No. So I stay up all night watching every single video, and I finally find the UPS truck, right, going in. I'm standing there talking to the lady, but the UPS truck drives in. So that's proof I didn't block the driveway. I know it sounds stupid, but this is the degree that these people go to try to, get their way. I mean, I'm telling this story for that reason, because I want people to understand they are really creepy, and you have to kind of like, it's excellent what everybody's doing. I love it. I love what you guys are doing in every different area, and all the people speaking out and making live videos. It's fantastic. But you also have to make sure you're protected because they're following you. If you're in a car and you've got a live video going, they're watching it. They know where you're going. That's just it. And so when Jessica pulled up to that house, I knew where she was. They knew where she was. I mean, I didn't have the exact address, but I know they probably did because they could probably scan her car and stuff like that. Anyway, I think they called in a phony thing saying she was going to shoot someone, or she did shoot someone. And here comes the helicopter and the planes, and they take her out of the car and handcuff her and all this other stuff. Anyway, she got out of the whole thing. And so did I with the UPS truck, because I handed it to my attorney the day, this is 20 years ago, it was in 2000, so 24 years ago now. I hand him a piece of paper saying UPS truck, and he doesn't do anything. And I'm used to standing up in court because I have more than once. And so I stand up in court and I say, Your Honor, I want you to ask him about the UPS truck. And so the judge says, okay, what about the UPS truck? And he says, okay, well, I've got a video. And then he puts in the video, and the video shows I didn't block it. And so they go, okay, that's it. She is not a criminal. She does not have a criminal conviction. Bob had to do some community service, and I had to pay $100. That's it. It's over. And the last sentence they said is, what about Tori Crispin and the blocking the driveway? And he said, the video showed it. She didn't. But, it's really tricky. I didn't even get it till I came home. And my husband was trying to kick me out of the house, which that didn't work, thanks to one lady who came to my rescue at a party. And that's a whole different story, but that was that. And then I had to get a job. And I didn't realize I had been working for Scientology companies, but here in LA and in a lot of the real world, because I'm in sales, they do these group interviews and they go, does anyone have a criminal conviction? And if you raise your hand, they go, there's the door. That's it. I mean, there's no discussion. There's no getting out of it. I wouldn't have been able to get a job. That would have been it. And they would have been thrilled. It's like, good. She's homeless. She doesn't have a job. She's screwed. And that's Scientology. And that people that go, it's a church of Scientology. You call that a church? No. I might say church because that's their label, is a church of Scientology, but they are 100%. When Streets or anyone else says you're a cult, that is 100% right. And this kind of thing proves it. And I want people to know it. So I wanted to tell this story tonight just to let you know how tricky they are at setting people up, and following them and watching them. And you don't realize what the back scene is, but it's very, very tricky. And it is one of those things where you can win, and you are winning. There's no question about it. The great thing about all of you doing these live videos, and even you people, being here, and I thank you for that. It's so great. And it's like every person who likes this video, that's a bad stat for OSA. Every person who subscribes, that's a very bad stat for OSA. They hate it when my subscriptions go up. They hate it. So I really can't thank you enough. And that's true for, I mean, there's Natalie who's up north and she has a great morning recap of everything. There's Streets LA. I love him. He's educating all of us on the laws, really, of a public person out on the streets. There's Jessica Palmadessa, definitely. Chris without a Hellcat. I love that nickname. And then Confident Chris. And Confident Chris was there last night and he really helped Jessica. He really showed a true friend. I mean, he really was a really good friend. So, and that's just a few of them. There's a ton more. Like Danny is in and I forget the other people's names because they're all new to me, but they're in Chicago now. They were there for the opening. And, you know, there's just a bunch of people all around the world, really. And everyone and thousands of people before this have done stuff that has been monumental. I'm going to start showing you books. This was the first book that I knew about that they said, don't ever read this book, Tori. And it's called A Piece of Blue Sky by John Atack. It's a really, it's one of those things where Scientology hates that book because it's basically about L. Ron Hubbard and facts that they didn't want anybody to know. And John Atack left and wrote that book. So anyway, there's that first book. I'm going to start showing books with every video so people get different things that you can read and learn about different stuff. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to tell you about the fair game. And, then and now. Then is my story, and now is Jessica and Chris. And thank you, Chris, and thank you, Jessica, both of you. And Jessica's mother. I mean, she is so great. She was on the live stream going, ah! It was kind of like, it had to be really freaky. She said, I can barely breathe, because it was scary watching it. It really was. It scared me. It was like, oh my God, seeing these police cars come up to her and then all of a sudden the live cam goes out. That's it. And we're like, what happened to her? And then luckily somebody came out and said, Chris is filming it. Jessica's handcuffed. Jessica's on the ground. Now Jessica's okay. Chris is unhandcuffed. Jessica's unhandcuffed. It's kind of a dramatic night. And Chris has most of it on video. And I think Jess does too. Anyway, she doesn't have all of it, but I know Chris does. Anyway, so hello to all of you. Everybody that said hello, good evening, thank you. And hello to everyone. I agree. Okay, they got DOA tonight? Ooh, what happened there? Now I got to find out about that. All right. Hey, pretty lady, Battle Creek, Michigan. Yes. All right. So DOA just got swatted. That's a name I didn't know about, swatted, which is apparently they go after these big live streamers and do these false calls on them and get them in trouble. I mean, they get out of it, but some people have had some really bad stuff happen to them. All right. So, okay. So he's okay now. All right. Good to know. Okay. And then how did OSA fair game year? I think I just told you. That's one of them. They've done thousands of things on me. They broke into my house. They erased my video. All of my hard drive was erased. And I know it was Bill Yachty because I know my husband wouldn't let OSA into my house, to do that. But he would let Yachty because Yachty was our auditor, and our friend. And he probably just said, look, I got to just do some stuff on her computer. Don't worry about it. And they erased the whole computer, all the hard drive, all the stuff about Scientology, OSA, I had all kinds of stuff. They erased all my videos of my child. I had videotaped all of the Sea Org at Flag. And I had these tons of videos of great interviews I did with people at Flag and stuff like that, erased them all. So I was on my way. I had set up what I call the meltdown committee. So anybody listening to this, if you're in this position where you're newly, out and things are kind of hairy, right? And so I set up this meltdown committee because I would walk into anywhere where Harold and I had been, and I would just melt down. I would just start crying. And so I set up these 4 people that I could call anytime and they would help me. Excuse me. So now I found these videos that were all erased. All my sons, like, I'm gonna start crying. Anyway, it was very upsetting to me because it was like, my friends, It's so mean when they do things like that. Anyway, it was my friends and my son, mostly my son, but it was just like, how could you do that? And I was so mad and I was just crying. And I get in my car and I was going to drive over to the HGB and just stand out there and say, Scientology, give me my fucking videos, right? I was like that mad. And luckily, I had this Homer Simpson moment where I thought, Tori, call someone, call the meltdown committee, because you are about ready to be 5150, which is where they throw you in a mental thing for a while and drug you up, and God knows what Scientology would end up doing. So I so I called Spanky and I was just hysterical. And she said, okay, listen to me carefully, turn around the car right now, get over to my house. And that's what happened. I turned around the car, went over to her house, and I was just like, how can they do this? And she's always been great. She's helped me since I came back. She's really been a great friend. So anyway, they've done a lot of fair game stuff to me. There's tons more. I'll tell you more, but that's that answer to that question. For that, I get too upset sometimes when I talk about the real personal things, because especially when they erase things that they're just gone forever. And I know they're not. I know Harold has them probably, or Osa has them. Somebody has them, but it still pisses me off. It really does. Scientology, and you want to get rid of me, you will never fucking get rid of me ever. I told you that in Clearwater in 2000. I said, as long as you're hurting families, as long as you're stopping free speech, you will find me there. And you can go listen to Magoo Dancing in Boston. And that's what I say on the camera to David Miscavige and anybody else of his minions that was listening. I will be there. And here it is, 2024. Were you able to stop me with your 25-step program to muzzle Tory? No. Were you able to stop me with your stupid fair game? No. I mean, I could go on and on with all the stupid shit that you've tried to do, pin a criminal conviction on me. You idiots. And every time you do this, and every time you do it to all these new people, these are new people, knew nothing about Scientology. And you know what? They have had a master's degree in Scientology abuse. In just a little tiny bit of time, they now understand what we've been saying for years, right? Now people get it. It's like, oh no, we got it. We got it. And thank you to every single one of you. Anyway, okay. Let me just see. Let me see if there's any. If you have a question, put a question. That really helps. DOA just got swatted. Okay, the police knew, just like last night with Justin Cam, that it was swatting. Okay, they still put him face down. See, it's awful. But like someone pointed out last night with Jess, what if it is real? What if somebody was shooting? So it's kind of like, I don't know how that works. But anyway, I love you guys. Click the like button for Tori, guys. Yeah, thank you very much, Janie. Okay, so it's not goofy. I believe you, Tori, 100%. I know. It's, well, who could make this shit up? I mean, don't you know it? I mean, it's like, who could make this stuff up? You can't. I mean, you couldn't write books that are like this crazy stuff. It's like unbelievable. Thank you that I look great. Thank you, Jonathan. I hope you continue to have good things happen every day. Me too. It's my plan. That's the way I live. And so I do have good things happen every single day. And you guys are part of it. This makes me very, very happy for the rest of the night. Okay, I know I am a rebel, and I mean to be a rebel. I've been a rebel my whole life. That's just the way I am. I'm one of those. All right. Sounds like the worst Christmas event to be in. Yeah, it wasn't really Christmas. I think it was right after it. But anyway, it's tricky. Scientology and the holidays are weird. Half of those here haven't hit the like button. Okay, so come on, you guys. Come on. There's 177 likes. That's pretty good. I think they have. Woo to Tori, you got to subscribe though. Make sure that. Hi, sweet Tori, long time viewer. Okay, thank you, Kim. Anyway, if you don't do something wrong, CFS will make you look like you did. Exactly. That's exactly my point tonight. Is that they will create it one way or the other. But this is a thing that I want you to know. They tried to I was with a friend and we went into the Portland, or this is a whole different story. I'll tell you what, at one of my midnight things, I'm going to tell you this story about Portland. And someone remind me because it's a good story, but it's too long for right now. Okay, the Phoenix org has deteriorated, I know, to not allow meeting for auditing. This was Ron Hubbard's hometown. Wow. Badly managed org, which I hope remains. It will. I think they all are. I think it's really funny they're bringing about the golden age of tech admin. They already had the golden age of tech, which was, for the guys that don't know, they had the bridge to total freedom. That didn't work. So then Miscavige came up with the golden age of tech, which was like this, everything was different and everything was awful. So anyway, now they have the golden age of tech admin because the golden age of tech didn't work. So now they're doing the admin. Free Jessica, I guess, or Jessica. All right, anyway, I'll leave that be. Either that or Zeno is now permitting self-auditing. If anybody wants to learn anything about Scientology, this is my site that I really believe. Andreas passed away, but it's his site. He created it. He was never in Scientology. He's like a lot of you guys, he was never in. But he was in Norway and somebody was getting sued. And he thought, why would somebody sue a Norwegian? So he started poking around all over the net, and there was stuff all over the net. How great Scientology is, how awful it is. Paulette Cooper, if you haven't looked that up, look up Paulette Cooper. It's a great story. They're just like different, unbelievable. The Guardian's office and what happened there. Paulette Cooper was part of that Guardian's office bust that they had. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, what was I saying? That's the bad thing. I definitely need a moderator. I get that. That's what you guys were talking about. Why doesn't the police at least look at whether Scientology is made? Yeah, I know that we're trying to get them to do that, but are they getting paid off? I don't know. Okay, so stupid that just blocking a driveway. I know. It's the whole thing was so stupid. And it was embarrassing to me that a judge would take it up. An empty red sentence chair is a crime, but you were blocking their doors. No, I wasn't. They had the green, we had photographs of it. I'm glad that, thank you, Monica. I appreciate that. Are you afraid they're still watching you? Of course they're watching me. I know. I don't give a shit. I tell them all the time. Nope, not going to happen. Every time they do shit, I fire up my webcam and I make a video about it. That's the way I am. It's like go public. You can't hide from these guys. You can't, if you want to have anything to do with them. I wasn't going to say a word. I was going to leave and just be very, very quiet. But you know what? They just kept picking on me. And after a while, even if you watch them pick on other people, you kind of go, you know what? I got to say something about this. This is not right. And that's the way I felt. They just kept picking on me and picking on other people. And finally, I thought, you know what? I have free speech too. And that's another part of the escape story. So I'll tell you when that happened. But anyway, it got me to start speaking out. That's actually a midnight story because it's not the escape story. It was after the escape. Please hit the like button. Thank you, Grouchy Mama Bear. Oh, okay, Grouchy Mama Bear. All right. I never knew there was a Grouchy Mama Bear. I am doing excellent. Carrie Ann, thank you. Team Tori, all right. I like it. That's cool. I love you guys. I really do. I wish I could say all of your names, but everybody else would be like, come on. Anyway, the abuse of power. Scientology called in the SWAT saying rifle and grenades. I mean, they're just unbelievable. And they're going to stay unbelievable. But also, you have to know something. Every time you do it, it goes back on you. See, this is a thing that everyone needs to know. When I was helping volunteer OSA, right? And they told me our number one goal is to be thought of as a real religion. So every time you see them do creepy stuff, you can post real religion. I always put real religion, my ass, because it's like, no. But if you don't want to say my ass, you can just say, no, you just proved you're not a real religion. And the more people that say that, the more that's their biggest button. They want to be thought of as a real religion. And every time they hurt someone, every time they call this shit in, and oh, so you know this, or maybe you don't, but I'm telling you, you're gonna eventually get it that it doesn't work. Okay. It's not scaring us away. It's not going to scare Jessica away. If anything, she's going to do 10 times more. And that's the way it is. So, thank you to all of you. I love you guys. Oh, look at all these hearts. Scientology's brutal. Not really. They're just a bunch of bozos. And that's a quote. They're not really brutal. They're a bunch of bozos trying to pretend like they're brutal. I used to call them the mafia when I got on the internet in 2000. I said, OSA is really like the mafia. And the critics said, stop calling Scientology the mafia. You're giving the mafia a bad name, which is true. Very funny. So don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I'm never sorry about stuff. I don't believe in regret. And I don't want you guys to be sorry for me. No, I'm not. I'm sharing these stories with you to educate you. That's my thing. So you get a picture of different things. I don't regret anything. Not anything in my life. I don't believe in regret. I think it's a bummer. It's a bummer. Think about it. Regret. I regret this. Okay, so you feel bad. They feel bad. It doesn't help anybody. So my thing is like, hey, we are who we are. And that's the way it is. And if I regretted things, I would be, I don't know, it wouldn't be me. So I don't know how to explain it for people that do, but I feel bad for them because it's a bummer emotion. It really is. I appreciate the way you said it because I know you said it out of care and love, and I appreciate that. But I want you to know something. You don't ever have to be sorry for me. You can say, I love you. That's good. But don't say you're sorry for me. All right. So they are cruel, and I am a warrior. That's right. That is absolutely right. Okay. So thank you for that. Um, you're in your heart. They can't take that away. That's right. And that's true for everybody. You have wonderful memories. Even if people die, you have memories of them, and they're with you all the time. Don't ever forget that. Sorry for everything they've put you through. Don't worry about it. I wouldn't be who I am. They built me into the activist I am. They did it. I was on my way. I was like done with Scientology, on my way. And they just kept picking on me. And you know what? They've been picking on me for 23 years. And every time they do, they still have up all that shit about me, all the fucking lies they have up on the internet, flat out lies, and they know they're lies. And until you take them down, Scientology, guess who's going to be here telling my stories about you? And many more people are watching me than you at this point, and everybody else. We've got so many people now. It's fantastic. The old guard, and now everyone on the internet sees who they are. Thank you. And we pay for it as taxpayers. Give them hell. That's right. They don't pay any taxes, and they should. And the IRS, I'm calling you out. You really need to get down there and really re-look at this, because whatever happened before, it's not fair now. The truth will come out. That's right. Hey, beautiful. Thank you. All right. And you guys love me, and I love you. So thank you. All right. Perfect. So there you go. Oh, wait, there's one other thing, and I can't see it because there's hearts in it. They are trying to do, the more they show how terrible they are. That's right. The more they show, the more they do that's creepy, the better it is for us. Because I always say it, Scientology will prove what we're saying. We can say it, but they will always prove it. They'll prove that it's true. They did last night with Jessica, with people talking about fair game. Thank you. That wasn't just an accident. It wasn't. It was just it was 2 a.m. on a Sunday night. I don't think so. I really don't. You could say it, you can pretend it, but they've had so many false calls about things. It's just not, it's not true. So anyway, thank you for proving it. And Bill Yachty, if you're listening to this, it's an epic fail. And you can tell Miscavige that. Epic fail. That Anonymous used to always say that it's an epic fail. And I think I love that. I really do. It's true. It is. It's an epic fail. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Did you or not? Somebody let me know if it's okay. Pearl Snappy. All right. I love that name, Pearl Snappy. Anyway, I love some of your nicknames. They're really great. Um, but no one's letting me know if this was okay or not. No, wait, let me look. Oh, good. They did. All right. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh my God, I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Not today, Satan. Okay, I missed what Pearl Snappy said. Okay, she's going like this. Yeah, like you got strong arms. That's right. It's strong. Okay, sorry, I missed all of these. Oh my God. Okay. All right, here's a whole bunch of things. Some need to be done. Ah, this is really tricky. All right, well, anyway. Thanks, Laura F., for the info. Good. All right, good. So, and she's going to come over tomorrow, I hope. Tori, you're absolutely awesome. Okay, great. So everybody was okay with this. This wasn't like too, because I thought, well, they're going to think it's too old. But then I thought, no, I think it's kind of good that you hear, how long they've been doing this stuff, and they've been doing it way before me. I'm like on the shoulders of many giants. So, that's the way I look at it. Okay, good. So you guys love it. All right. Okay, good. Well, I love you guys. Have a wonderful week, and I will be in touch. I think, upload this big thing that I did with Laura tomorrow. And then I'm going to tell the story. Somebody send me a little thing and remind me what I'm going to tell you a story about. I'll remember it. I will. Anyway, for now, I got to remember how to end it. I think you just hit end stream. So there you go. Peace out. I love you guys.